Yeah. That's how we gonna do it. We're gonna do a UFU style up in here, man. And let me address, man. For y'all don't know, I'm your boy J4, man, from UFU, one of the admins, man, one of the founders of the U. You know, man, it's time, man. We long overdue for this. I heard brothers have been asking, man, when are we gonna link up? When are we gonna take things to the next level? So that's what this is about right here, man. This is our first jump off, man. UFU live Convos. So today, got some super dope panelists. We got a super dope topic today, man. And speaking of on that topic, man, before we even jump, man, some cats jumped in looking at our topic and said, man, is the U biting somebody else's style? Man, I think that's clear, man. It's the U, man. We trendsetters, man. We don't bite nobody else, man. You know what I'm saying? We'll talk about it. We got professional athletes, man. We got people that are journalists for a living. The U, man, we verified, man, state to state. So that shouldn't even be a question that comes up. But what I'm going to ask you brothers to do, and we'll start with Steve-O, man. Introduce yourself. Tell us your name. Since we're talking about boxing today, man, tell us who some of your favorite fighters were, man, when you fell in love with the sport and your favorite fight of all time, bro. Jump into it for us, Steve-O.
All right, brothers. What's going on, man? Steve Daly. I'm originally from Chicago. I live in North Carolina now. My favorite fighters, you know, growing up on the game, and being not a huge cat, Sugar Ray, Sweet Pea Whitaker, you know, Azuma Nelson. But I started watching and falling in love back in the day with Sugar Ray.
Mm-hmm.
I got the chance. My father used to take me to those closed circuit bouts with Aaron. You know, I saw Aaron Pryor fight Alexis Aguayo.
Wow.
Been following the game for a long time.
Right.
But if I had to say my favorite fight that I've ever kind of witnessed, I'm going to say one of them was the Sweet Pea Whitaker Chavez fight because of what it meant and how Sweet Pea just dismantled that dude and he exposed, you know, the game for what it was, because there was no way he didn't win that fight. You know, so that was one of my favorites.
That's dope. All right, we're going to dig into it. So next man up to do the same thing, man. Introduce yourself. Matter of fact, tell them how long you've been in the U, man, who some of your favorite fighters are, or when you fell in love with boxing, man, and your favorite fighters of all time. Go ahead, Mr. Brian Diallo, if you would.
Hey, what's up? This is Ray Diallo from Atlanta, Georgia. I've been really following boxing since I was probably maybe 6 or 7 years old. Like, I always liked the fight game. And that's a great question because it made me think about my favorite fight of all time. My favorite fight would probably be Diego Corrales versus Luis Castillo. That was a dynamic fight. It had all the action you wanted, and it also had a picture book finish ending, like a movie script ending to that fight. So I really like that fight. Some of my favorite fighters, of course, I think Sugar Ray Robinson's the best. The fighter that I really loved growing up, I love Sugar Ray like everybody else, but my favorite fighter during that era was Aaron the Hawk Pryor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No
To
doubt.
me, Aaron the Hawk Pryor's could arguably be the best fighter of that whole generation.
Mm.
So, you know, those are a few of the fighters that I like. And at the end of the day, like I think that the boxing game can go to another level just with a few tweaks here and there. And it's definitely boxing over something like the UFC.
No doubt. All right, good business. So last but not least, man, let's bring it up with one of my homies from the land. GB, go ahead, introduce yourself, man. Talk to us. Tell us that same information, man. Your name, favorite fighters when you fell in love with the sport, favorite fight of all time, a favorite fighter or fighters of all time, and tell us how long you've been down with the U also, brother.
Okay, what's up, everybody? My name is Gordon Battle. My favorite fighter is Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard and Evander Holyfield. I started watching boxing at a young age, probably like 4 or 5 years old. My father was always in the boxing big. He always had his sons watching the fights with him and things like that. My favorite fight of all time would probably be either Leonard Hearn, Leonard Hagler, Evander Holyfield, both of them. Those the ones that come to mind first of being my favorite fights. I've probably been a member of the U, I would say, for like the last 5 years. What's up, everybody?
Good, Black.
What's up?
No, that's love, man. That's love. Cool, man. So before we jump right into our topic, which everybody knows, we dealing with dream matchup tonight. What it would look like if Sugar Ray and Money, man. Money Mayweather got a chance to step in that ring and lace them up, man. So that's what our big topic is going to be. But our sidebar topic for tonight, before we jump into it, is producer battles, man. Who's got a chance to watch some of these producer battles that have been popping off on IG, man, with Timberland and the Swiss Beats running them joints? Who's got a chance to check some out?
I haven't watched one of them.
Man.
Not even one.
Oh, what about you, Steve-O?
No, I ain't checked it out at all.
Gordon, what about you?
I watched Manny Fresh and Scott Storch, and Scott Storch.
Yeah, Scott Storch put them things. Man, the concept is dope, though. Y'all that haven't seen it, man, the concept is really dope. I think the technical side of them is not all the way there yet. You know what I'm saying? I think that's where they can stand to, kind of beef it up some, which I think they will. But y'all essentially know the concept. So it's 20 records. Each producer gets to play 20 records that they were involved in. And I think one of the things you see, man, is that these boys made hits. So the battles that have taken place so far are, and I'll tell you my favorite, Swiss Beats versus Timberland, which they kind of played around with late last year. Some people teased that and they've been, kind of jabbing each other. I think that's when the idea first came across. I don't think I watched the full replay of that battle since I had seen them kind of go at it before. One of the cold ones on the Young Boy stuff was Boy Wonder versus Hit Boy. I think, who is it? Boy Wonder. I think he's one of Drake's producers, but he's done a bunch of super dope.
I was thinking about the ninth Wonder. My fault.
Yeah, no. So yeah, Boy Wonder. He and both of them have done a bunch of joints, man. They the younger producers, but they've done some big records, and that's what you discover with a lot of these guys. That's when I would say go and watch the younger boys, but I think it's Boy Wonder because they both got Boy in their name. Hit Boy must, whichever one is from LA lost. So I think it's Boy Wonder is the one that won.
So are they having clear winners, or is this just the public's opinion?
And
then on top of that, the second part of that question would be, I didn't watch it and I probably won't watch it, but how in the world is anybody saying that Manny Fresh lost to Scott Storch? Like, what's going on?
Scott Storch is a great producer, a very underrated producer. And
is he the Elvis of producers?
No, what you got to think about though is that they get
he's way better than Elvis.
And you got to think he's playing all them Dre joints and he's playing Roots joints, so he didn't do it could be records you were involved in, so you didn't have to do the whole thing yourself.
So basically, if he played the keys on a record, right, he could play it.
He gets that record, right?
Oh,
Now as far as the winner, so this is how it started out. It started out where it was just public opinion. You know what I'm saying, man? Everybody will chime in now. The thing about it is, man, you getting the who's who that are checking in on these battles from, other rappers, producers, NBA players, and actors. Everybody is really digging in. I think it was Lil Jon versus T-Pain broke the record with about 300,000 views. Right, so people are really into it. So I think the first couple of battles, they didn't have real judges, but I think they have this homeboy. What was the little production crew that Puffy had back in the day from Bad Boy that was doing all this Hitmakers? What was their name?
They was the Hitmen.
Hitman. So I think it's old boy that used D-Dot. I think it's D-Dot, the man rapper.
D-Dot, Giletti. Yeah.
So I think they gave him the the official scorekeeper kind of joint now. But what'll happen is Swiss Beats and Timberland and some other guys, and really a lot of people will kind of be throwing their comments in, saying, man, this guy was up six rounds to 8, 4 rounds to 3. And so people will give their opinion, but you kind of know, like Scott Storch he banged Manny Fresh out because the other strategy behind it is you got to play the right counter record. So it's back to back. So I play a record, you play a record. So see,
Right.
that's what happened in the Lil Jon T-Pain battle. You figure
Let me
T-Pain.
ask you this.
So who won? Who won?
Hold up, I'm gonna tell you. Go ahead, Gordon.
Because he asked the question, he said, "How we know Manny Fresh won hands down? I mean, lost hands down." Tell me who else Manny Fresh really produced for outside of the Hot Boys, and
Right.
you know, that was
The only other he played 2 other records from other people.
Storch got a whole catalog
Exactly.
of artists that man didn't produce. Y'all people gotta put some respect on his name. He just had a drug habit. You know what I'm saying?
He got Beyonce records and everything, man.
Outside of that, he's still rocking. He's still
Yeah, he played some new stuff too. Matter of fact, he got a Roddy Ricch record. He played that Roddy Ricch record didn't really do well against like Juvenile. I mean, Manny Fresh probably hit him with a Juvenile record, so that record didn't do that well against, against like classic record. But to answer what was your question again, Chop?
No, he just answered it. I just wanted to know, like, so basically the whole criteria is just about songs, nothing about DJing. It's just all about who can play what song. And so
really
the other question, question was T-Pain versus Lil Jon.
So Lil Jon, man, he just kept like T-Pain made a couple mistakes. T-Pain got hit records. He had dope records, but the thing about it is Lil Jon stuff was made for battles though. So T-Pain will play and Lil Jon got to go second. So T-Pain will play a record. You like, oh, it's no coming back from this. And do the drop. He dropped like that real big reggaeton record. You know what I'm saying? And he did, and like, man, just smash shitty stuff you listening to. And then all those club bangers. So when you're talking about moods and creating vibes, man, Lil Jon got that, bro. He just kept hitting him in the head with vibes. Man.
I hate to change the subject real quick, but I think we got to do this. Brandon Cooks just got traded to the Texans.
Who did?
Brandon Cooks.
Wow. He's a move.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I don't know.
He gets type player, but he can take the top off. But they got like 2-3 players that can do that. Fuller.
Hey, they Super Bowl goes pretty quick, didn't it?
Yeah.
Right. I think that it's alarming. It's alarming that he's traded so much. Like, what's really going on? Like, no team has him more than like a year or so, and they get rid of him. Like, this is already what is this his 5th or 6th team? New Orleans.
He can take the top off, but he don't strike me as like a Ty Hill take the top off. He can't. He kind of he's not big enough to be really a possession receiver.
He run one route. Flat pattern.
Yep, that's it.
I mean, so are we saying that he wouldn't have been valuable for Tom Brady with his lack of receivers for the last 2 years?
Good question. Good question.
That's what I'm saying. They moving so much.
Maybe because Tom Brady don't have that arm no more. You know what I'm saying?
Are we sure about that?
Man,
yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I'm positive.
I'm not sure about that. This is not Drew Brees' arm now. Drew Brees' arm, we know. It's no doubt Drew Brees can't throw it past 40 yards.
Yeah.
But Brady can still throw.
He hasn't been as accurate, the last couple of years. And outside of Randy, he was never really a accurate, take it off the top downfield type of quarterback. I believe like when they were in that Super Bowl against Seattle, the announcers were like, man, Brady's like 1 of 24 for passes over like 25 yards. And then he hit Gronk on the side, for that long touchdown. But, that's why he's gone to the 7 yard, the 3 yards and, quick outs and quick ends and stuff like that. But
I think the taking what the defense gives you is a mental exercise.
It is.
That's why the 2 top quarterbacks I think of all time will probably be him and Cool Joe Montana. But I feel like what they would do is they wouldn't get so hyped. So imagine if you're playing somebody that plays Madden and all they want to do is like run and shoot and throw long bombs. And they don't take care of the fundamentals. So I think that's really where his genius is that he will take that if you give it to him.
Yeah, that type of mental. Because you mentioned Madden, and when I did play it, I was comfortable just running the ball. Give me
Right.
3 yards, open it up, and then in the second half, especially playing online, they don't know what you're doing. They say 2 running backs, wide receiver, a pro set, and then you come out and you in the 5 wide receiver set. That's
all right, fellas, let's jump into it, man. So it's money time now, man. Let's get into this combo. The reason we here, man. So we're here to talk about this dream matchup. Money Mayweather, undefeated, unquestionably one of the greatest of all times, man, versus Sugar Ray, which I think cats kind of know both of these dudes' resumes, but I think we're going to start off. So some quick softball question, man. Which one of these brothers had the coldest nickname, man? Is it Money Mayweather or is it Sugar Ray Leonard, man? Steve-O, talk to me. Who's got the coldest nickname?
Man, growing up, just Sugar was so sweet, but first he wasn't the first Sugar.
Yeah.
And Money, he was Pretty Boy Floyd, and then Money, those are original. So I'm gonna give him the P's because he ain't piggyback off nobody else's. I know that Sugar Ray was trying to, but it is what it is.
Okay, so it's Money Mayweather for you?
Yeah.
Was it Pretty Boy Floyd? Which one is? I guess it's his thing. What is it? Is it Money Mayweather?
Money Mayweather, he played it to a T.
That's real.
He paid his way to get his own freedom, and then 100 a watt. You got to give him money.
That's real. That's real. Gordon, who you got, man? Sweetest nickname.
Best nickname, Money Mayweather. Ain't nobody had that nickname. Sugar Ray, that name been there before. So we gotta go. I'm Mayweather with that one.
Brian, any arguments from you, brother? Sweetest nickname? He might not be.
Yeah, sweetest nickname.
Yeah.
The sweetest nickname will be out of those two. It has to be Money because, like everybody said, there's a Sugar Ray Robinson. It's the original Sugar that every Sugar came after, right? Yeah. And then if Floyd keeps the name Pretty Boy, then I probably would go with Sugar Ray Leonard. But for the fact that he changed it to Money Mayweather, and actually it's almost like young Michael Jackson versus old Michael Jackson. Like Pretty Boy is a totally different entity versus when he changed it to Money Mayweather. So I'll give it to Money Mayweather.
All right. So second piece before we jump into the meat of this thing. So it's we know styles make fights, right? So I want to hear from each of you brothers how you see this fight, kind of playing out, man. How they gonna match up? First, let's talk about what weight class should they be fighting at. You know what I'm saying? That will give them both an even chance, the best chance. So it's nothing, nothing fugazi about it. What weight class should they be fighting at? And then, kind of from there, break down how you think what each guy's strategy would be going in and maybe where each guy has an advantage. Brian, we'll start with you.
I would definitely say that it has to be in welterweight, no question.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. And so from a stylistic standpoint, where do you think what do you think both guys are going to be looking to do, just from a pure strategy standpoint, without kind of showing your hand on who you think will win? What do you think both guys' strategy is going in?
Sugar Ray Leonard came off as like it's his persona and what he sold commercials as, like the nice guy, pretty guy. But when he was in the ring, he liked to bully fighters, especially somebody. He would definitely try to bully Mayweather because of Mayweather's size. So he would come in and try to see if Mayweather could take the punches and give the punches as well. So I think he would come in with a very aggressive style, and Mayweather, of course, would just fend everything off with his famous shoulder roll.
No doubt. That's just
so right. Mayweather would be in the best position, and the position he likes is to counter anything that Sugar Ray would be throwing at him.
No doubt. GB, talk to us.
They got to fight at welterweight. That's right, at 147.
Stylistically, what's the game plans for both?
Both fighters. Floyd gonna have to adjust to his Sugar Ray Leonard hand speed and power. I don't think he's been in the ring with a fighter that got hand speed and power. And he a slow starter, Mayweather is.
Mm-hmm.
He spends the first 4 rounds figuring out the fighter, and you know what I'm saying, and testing the fighter, I should say, seeing how hard this guy punches and whatever. But that's the way I predict the fight to start. The first 4 rounds, I'm gonna give him the Sugar.
Okay, all right. First 4. That's interesting. Steve-O, talk to us.
I agree with what's been said. I believe Sugar will come out as the aggressor. That would be his way to fight. And I think that Mayweather would come out defensive. He wouldn't be backing up unless he wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
In the middle of the ring, and without saying too much, I just think that Sugar would be the aggressor, which is his style of fighting, and Mayweather would think his way through it. He's a more defensive fighter, counter fighter, and all his fights pretty about the same. So that's how I think it would kind of go.
No doubt. So GB, since you are a Sugar Ray fan, and we'll have everybody add on to it, why don't you talk about Sugar's legacy?
Can I say one thing, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
Gordon he's lost his noggin if he thinks that it takes Mayweather 4 rounds to figure out a fighter. It only takes him 2 rounds to figure out a fighter. And you can't possibly think that Sugar Ray's gonna win the first 4 rounds when Mayweather's only lost 30 rounds his whole career. Like, Mayweather doesn't give up rounds. We were doing the math. I mean, out of close to 400 rounds, Mayweather's only lost 30.
Did you watch him fight? What's the Mexican guy that he headbutted Mayweather illegally? And
Victor Ortiz.
I watched that fight the other day, right? I watched Mayweather get him 3 rounds. I watched him spend the first part of that fight figuring that out. You watch him fight Mandia, same thing. He spent rounds. So when you say he's only lost 30 rounds, is that what you're taking from the scorecard, or is that what your eyes are telling you?
That's what my eyes tell me, because you can't give a boxer credit for being busy and not hitting the target. So those rounds with Victor Ortiz or even Maradona, they did a lot of work. They put a lot of work in, but they weren't hitting the target. So you don't get rounds for being busy. You get rounds for being accurate. And last time I checked, Mayweather was the most accurate CompuBox boxer in the history of boxing. So the
only way we can look at this is from a mental aspect of what we understand both of these people to be, because we'll never see it in a physical form. So just understanding Mayweather and the way he fights, who's gonna be doing the pursuing? Is that what you gonna tell me? Which one of them gonna be doing it? Just knowing the way they fight.
Yeah, we've already said it's gonna be Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yep. So he's gonna be more active, more busier to start that fight before Mayweather figures him out. So you're telling me 2 rounds you give him?
Nah, I said at the most 2 rounds. But I don't even know if I could give him the rounds, because he could figure you out and you won't hit him. You're acting like Sugar Ray's just gonna be keying off on him. Like, that's not gonna happen.
So you right, brother Battle, that Sugar's gonna come out fast, and
he's gonna hit him. Never fought a fighter like that. He's gonna hit him the way other guys haven't hit him before.
There's no evidence. I understand what you're saying, but there's just no evidence that this dude is gonna go in there and just be hitting him where other fighters.
He's gonna hit him more than fighters have hit him.
I disagree.
So let's do this. Let's do this.
He's fought 2 people that are like Sugar Ray Leonard.
Let's do this real quick. So Gordon, I want you to describe Sugar Ray's style all the way to a T, his best fights, anybody he faced that would have helped.
He's the most ferocious fighter and finisher that you're gonna see outside of the heavyweight division that you've ever seen in your life, and finisher, like the man finished people, like for real, and he
unless their name is Roberto Duran or Marvin Hagler.
Man, he finished Duran. If a nigga
Man,
quit,
come on, man. We're talking about the first fight. We're talking about how he ran around like a track star versus Marvin Smart.
You're lying, the truth ain't in. If you go watch that, I recommend you go watch that first fight again. That whole fight, them guys fought shoulder to shoulder, round 1 through 15, in exchanging punches. The whole fight. It was no running, none that.
Talking about Roberto Duran?
Yeah, that whole fight, 15 rounds, Duran and Leonard did nothing but stand shoulder to shoulder, throwing blows at each other. The whole entire fight. I don't know who won that fight. I don't know who won it. You don't know.
So and what about Marvin? What about Hagler?
He smoked Hagler. He smoked him.
Okay.
That was Leonard in his prime, coming off a 2-3 year retirement.
5 years.
That's the best show I've ever seen in my life.
That's Leonard with an extra long ring. He negotiated to have the ring larger.
And put on a show.
He did his thing. He did a thing, but he's not always the aggressive.
It was no need to be the aggressive that fight. It was a need to be a boxer. You watch Hearns try to be a.
So who's the best boxer between him and Money Mayweather?